welcome to the True Crime Never Sleeps podcast. I'm your host, Larry Lease, and on today's episode, we dive into the unsolved disappearance of Walter Collins. But first, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Good Ranchers. If you're anything like me, you know that good quality meat makes all the difference in your home-cooked meals. That's why I love Good Ranchers. They deliver 100% American premium meat straight to my doorstep. Since I started using them, my barbecues have gone from great to phenomenal. If you're a foodie or just love a good steak or chicken, check out Good Ranchers. It's a game changer for meal times. So without further ado, let's dive right into today's episode. We will uncover the story of Walter Collins, a 9-year-old boy whose disappearance set off a series of events that exposed not just a grieving mother's quest for truth, but the depth of corruption within one of America's largest cities. This is a tale filled with suspense, heartbreak, and a desire for justice that would not be silenced. But before we dive into the heart of this matter, let's set the stage. The 1920s, often referred to as the Roaring Twenties, was a decade marked by post-war prosperity, cultural dynamism, and significant societal changes. The American dream was becoming a reality for many as they moved into rapidly growing cities, hoping for better lives. Los Angeles, with its blossoming film industry, was one such city. The population was exploding with people drawn to the glamour of Hollywood and the promise of good jobs and good weather. But beneath the glittering surface of the city's success lurked a darker underbelly of crime and corruption. The Los Angeles Police Department of the time was a prime example of this corruption. Bribery, cover-ups, and an evident disregard for the city's growing crime rate tarnished the department's reputation. Public trust was dwindling, and it was amidst this tumultuous climate that the case of Walter Collins came to the forefront. If this story sounds familiar to you, it might be because it served as the inspiration for the 2008 movie Changeling, directed by Clint Eastwood and starring Angelina Jolie as Walter's mother, Christine Collins. While the film did an exceptional job shedding light on this story, it only provided a glimpse into the complexity of the case and the era. But today we'll dive deeper. We'll explore the societal and cultural nuances that were at play, how this affected the handling of Walter's case, and the implications that had on the people involved and the city at large. This is more than just a story of a missing child. It's a tale of a city on the brink of change, a police department mired in scandal, and a mother's relentless pursuit for the truth. So buckle up, listeners, as we journey back in time, into the heart of Los Angeles and unravel the mystery of the disappearance of Walter Collins. On March 10, 1928, Christine Collins, a dedicated telephone operator at the Southern California Telephone Company, sent her young son Walter to see a movie. This was a common occurrence, a way for a hard-working single mother to keep her son entertained while she was at work. But this seemingly ordinary day took a harrowing turn. When Christine returned home that evening, the house was eerily quiet. Walter was nowhere to be found. Picture this, a mother tired from a long day of work, coming home to an empty house. The panic that must have set in as she searched each room, called out to her neighbors, and ultimately realized that her son had vanished without a trace. The next hours and days were a blur for Christine as she reached out to the Los Angeles Police Department, desperately pleading for their help in finding Walter. Now let's remember the state of LAPD during this time. They were under the spotlight for corruption and inefficiency, and public sentiment was growing increasingly negative. The case of Walter Collins provided them with an opportunity, a chance to redeem themselves in the public eye, to show that they were capable of serving and protecting their wonderful city. Yet, as we soon discover, their desperate desire to solve this case quickly and regain public trust led to a series of missteps and questionable decisions. The police launched a nationwide search for Walter, investing substantial resources into locating the boy. The case was widely publicized, and it seemed everyone in America was on the lookout for Walter Collins. But as weeks turned into months with no sign of Walter, hope started to dwindle. Until 5 months after Walter's disappearance, a boy matching his description was found in Illinois. The LAPD, eager for a resolution, announced they had found Walter. Christine Collins was overwhelmed with relief, her prayers seemingly answered. That is, until she met the boy who stepped off the train. Christine looked into the boy's eyes, and a chill must have run down her spine, because, listeners, she was certain of one thing: this boy was not her son. So here we are at the train station. Christine Collins staring at the boy who was not her son. In her heart, she knew the truth. But the police, the public, they wanted closure, a happy ending. Faced with Christine's steadfast denial that this boy was Walter, the LAPD went on the defensive. Rather than reopening the case or considering the possibility that they might be wrong, they took a darker path. They declared Christine Collins delusional and hysterical. They painted a picture of a distressed, unstable woman who, after months of worrying and fear, could not recognize her own child. After all, this boy claimed he was Walter. He knew details about Walter's life, about his home, and the police were certain they had solved the case. The problem, as far as they saw it, was Christine. And so, in a shocking move, the LAPD committed Christine to the LA County General Hospital's psychopathic ward under a Code 12 internment, a code that police used when they wanted to silence someone, or also when they wanted to discredit them. While Christine fought to maintain her sanity amidst the chaos of the psychiatric ward, the boy who claimed to be Walter lived in her home, attended school, and continued to insist he was Walter Collins. But as days turned into weeks, cracks began to show until finally, confronted with the inconsistencies in his story, the boy confessed. He was not Walter Collins, but Arthur Hutchins Jr., a runaway from Illinois. He had lied about his identity to come to LA for a chance at Hollywood. Arthur's confession sent shockwaves through the city. Christine was released from the psychiatric ward, her sanity officially and publicly restored. But with her freedom came a harsh reality. Walter was missing, and her fight was far from over. After she was released, public outrage against the LAPD reached a fever pitch. The department, once seen as the city's guardian, was now under a microscope, its reputation severely damaged. Meanwhile, the whereabouts of Walter Collins remained a mystery. That is, until the name Gordon Stewart Northcott surfaced. Northcott was the man behind the infamous Wineville Chicken Coop Murders. The story unfolded when Northcott's nephew, Sanford Clark, was found and told a terrifying tale. He spoke of multiple boys being held captive, tortured, and murdered at Northcott's chicken ranch in Wineville, a rural town not far from Los Angeles. In his chilling account, Sanford mentioned Walter. According to him, Walter had been held at the ranch too. The LAPD, desperate for answers, questioned Northcott. He was an enigmatic figure, seeming to relish the attention and the mind games. His accounts regarding Walter were inconsistent. At times he admitted to killing the boy, at other times he recanted. In the end, Northcott was convicted for the murders of 3 boys and was sentenced to death. But the question remained, had he killed Walter? The evidence was circumstantial. Sanford's testimony was the only link, and Northcott's own statements were unreliable at best. Christine Collins, however, clung to hope. Even with the mounting evidence against Northcott, she refused to believe her son was dead. In her heart, she believed Walter was still out there somewhere. Years passed. The LAPD faced reforms. The city of Wineville, unable to shake the stigma associated with the gruesome murders, changed its name to Mira Loma. But Walter never came home. His disappearance remains one of the most haunting, unsolved cases in Los Angeles history. It's a story that prompts us to question our institutions, to challenge their actions, and to fight for truth, even when the world seems to be against us. It's a story of mother's unyielding love, a city's thirst for justice, and a mystery that nearly a century later still captures our imagination. Walter Collins, the boy who vanished without a trace, his story will always remind us that every missing person is more than just a case number. They are sons, daughters, loved ones, and their stories deserve to be told. Let us know your thoughts on this case in the comment section below. Let us know your theories. What do you think happened? Do you think the person held responsible was the guilty party? Let us know. And of course, give us a thumbs up if you like our video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification button to be notified of future videos. As always, if you want to support the channel, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/TCNS. Your support helps the channel grow, upgrade our equipment, bring in new hosts, be able to pay them, and create even more content, and most of all, hopefully be able to take this show on the road. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you next time. Whoa. Can't believe you were about to just not like this video. Come on, give us a thumbs up if you watched it this far. Or subscribe. The choice is yours.